I know I've went after Milo way too much, but she's just kind of remaining stupid, so let's just get right into this. I'm gonna have to go after her again.
I'm wearing the heaviest sweater I own right now because the heating in my dorm is broken and it is cold in Chicago. Please send help.
Cute and canny, more than just one out of many.
What is with your face? I mean, Milo, you know trying to be awkward isn't gonna get you any sympathy or oppression points, right?
Something I get asked to talk about a lot is coming out. But here's the thing. I really don't like giving coming out advice. Coming out is an extremely messy thing that so depends on who you are and what your situation is. And there's never really one right way to come out to guarantee a positive reaction.
Well, you're actually right about that. You can't control what people's reactions are gonna be.
However, if there's one thing I know about coming out, it's that my coming out process would have been a lot easier had I been able to talk to my parents when I started questioning my gender and sexuality. My parents never really sat me down to give me the talk, so discussing sexuality with my parents was awkward and I didn't really know how to bring it up.
Talking about sexuality is awkward for everyone. Why are you blaming your parents for that?
I think my parents have always been supporters of marriage equality, but whenever they would talk about trans rights or trans people in general, they never really talked about them in a positive manner.
You mean not in the manner that you want them to talk about it, e.g. controlling everything they say so that it can't offend anybody who identifies as transgender even if they're not, ever? Also, you gotta love this beautiful screenshot.
Which I believe is mostly because they were uneducated on the subject.
They're probably even more apprehensive towards trans people now, especially that you very famously said all cis people are transphobic.
But it was awkward. Oh, it was awkward. I just don't get why anyone would want to change genders. It just doesn't make sense to me. You know?
What am I watching? What is this?
I really didn't talk to my parents about these topics because I was really embarrassed and sort of ashamed of my own questioning process. Plus, I was scared of how my parents would have reacted. I feel like if I had been able to talk to my parents and my friends while going through the questioning process,
You mean going through the brainwashing process?
I wouldn't have lived in as much shame. And oh, I can just imagine how much easier it would have been to come out. Mom, someone at school called me a dyke. What does that mean? Hey Mom, I'm taking this Am I Gay quiz and I have a question. What's the L word? Hey Mom, what does it mean if I keep having dreams that I have a penis? And I really like it.
Milo, that's not a sign of being trans. I don't think you really know what gender dysphoria is. I don't know why you keep bringing this up. It's like, probably it's because it's the most masculine you've ever felt.
In all honesty, I think it would have been funny to see how my mom would have reacted to younger me asking her these questions, because she was always awkward about answering questions about sex.
Like I said, everybody is. What do you expect?
I remember coming home from middle school one day to ask her what the word orgasm meant because one of my friends in school used the word and I didn't know what it meant. Instead of trying to explain what an orgasm is, she just told me to not be friends with the person who had used that word. I feel like a lot of people—
What is with the whole disembodied voice trick you keep using, Milo? It's not cute or funny or creative in any way at all.
lack understanding of different sex ed topics because adults oftentimes suck at explaining these things to kids.
And kids suck at explaining these things to other kids as well. What's your point, Milo? Are you trying to shame adults now?
Or just don't know how. And you can't really Google most sex ed topics without just getting porn.
Actually, there are plenty of good sex ed sites out there, and there are plenty of bad ones, I should add, like Lacy Green and Scarlet Teen, which are, of course, just filled with SJW propaganda. So I would say, when you try to find out a sex ed topic, be careful which ones you find, but there are good ones. It's not just porn, Milo.
Even for trying to figure out your gender or sexuality, if you Google transgender people too far on the internet, you will get porn. It's unfortunate. Trans misogyny is disgusting.
Okay, first of all, why does discrimination towards trans women have to count as trans misogyny? That's just transphobia. That's just being mean to them for being trans. It has nothing to do with the fact that they're women. But if you do insist specifying that you're women, what about trans misandry? What about the fact that there are so many SJW trans guys out there who just have to completely submit themselves and bow down because they're transitioning into a man, and according to SJWs, that's about the worst thing you can do.
But that's a thing. Actually, a huge reason why I found the LGBT community on YouTube was because I didn't have anyone in real life to talk about these subjects with.
Well, that's a shame, because if you didn't find the so-called LGBT community on YouTube, you might have not turned out to be a crazy SJW.
And I couldn't find a whole lot of other useful information online. That's why I'm really excited about this new YouTube channel called Amaze, which makes animated sex ed videos, which are not heteronormative or cisnormative.
So, you mean that they're loaded with SJW propaganda, right? Because guess what, Milo? Being straight and not being trans is normal. It's typical. Even though, yeah, not everybody's straight. Some people are trans. It's still the way things are. I'm not saying that they shouldn't include LGBT people. Of course they should. But they should include them in a rational, scientific way, not an ideological way like you would want them to.
Amaze makes videos on sex, relationships, puberty, sexuality, and gender identity, and I think you should go and check them out.
Oh god, is this just a sponsored video? I hate these kind of things. I mean, it's funny that Milo claims to be a communist and claims, not to really believe in corporatism, because that's exactly what you're supporting right now, Milo.
Linked in the cards and in the description. I'm just saying, it's like about time we had a resource for sex ed that was not cisnormative or heteronormative, and that actually talks about gender identity and expression.
Well, what if it does talk about gender, as in, most people are born male, and they have a male brain, most people are born female, and they have a female brain. A very small minority of people have the opposite brain from their biological sex, and that's what transgender is, and all of the ridiculous non-binary identities have no proof. What about that? But of course, that's just gonna be cisnormative and heteronormative as well, Milo, right? Because it doesn't fit your narrative. You're so transparent, Milo.
Thank the Lord. God bless. Praise Jesus. Yes.
Are you actually religious, Milo? It's sort of weird that you would be like a religious SJW. I thought those things didn't normally go together. I mean, obviously SJW ideology is like a religion, but my point is, that's kind of weird. But maybe that's just horseshoe theory working its way together. I don't know.
Yes. Alright. Thank you for watching. Peace!
So, I know this wasn't exactly the most well thought out, rational video. I'm actually recording this whole thing unscripted. First unscripted video I've done. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Milo, just please, can you just stop with this ridiculous propaganda? It's so sad. You're just a kid. I mean, this is our future generation, folks. Extremists. Okay. As always, thanks for watching.
Feel the funk blast!